Hi, everyone, and welcome to Consciousness is Sexy. I'm your host, Patty Alfonso, and this week's topic is what is honor? Dun, dun, dun. It's been really interesting. I've had a lot of clients in the last couple of weeks that have been coming to me asking for more communion with their bodies, more communion with themselves, and just more communion in general. And that's part of what inspired me to do these next few shows on the access consciousness elements of intimacy, because you actually cannot have communion without having intimacy with yourself. And last week we talked about trust and what that is in the ways in which we look at it in access consciousness. And this week we're going to play with the element of honor. Honor is treating one with regard. That means treating you with regard. It means treating, the person you're with regard. And it was interesting because I was looking at this, and it's not just like what does that mean? What is that, to treat one with regard? I don't know, So I looked it up, and it's also, honor is also about recognizing like the greatness of you and the greatness of the person that you're with, even when it's a little bit challenging to see that. Even when it's a little bit challenging to perceive that, but just to know it. Like, do you know the great, amazing being that you are? Do you know the great, amazing beings that you're surrounding yourself with? And if you're not surrounding yourself with great, amazing beings, then maybe you should take a look at that. And then honor, another kind of element of honor is not expecting someone to do something because you expect them to do it. Like treating someone with regard. And this sort of ties in a little bit with the element of trust that we talked about last week, is like people are going to choose what they're going to choose, what works for them, and the willingness to be aware of that. And so when you expect someone to choose something because it's what you want them to choose, versus what they would like to choose for themselves, and that's not really honoring. And for this, well, maybe, I don't know. We're going to talk about honor in a lot of different ways. There's honoring you, there's honoring the person that you're with, and there's also honoring your body. Do you honor your body, what your body desires? And I know that for a lot of us are kind of new here with the tools of access consciousness, and it's been an exploration of finding out what that is that your body desires and asking questions and following the energy. But let's put in there now the part of honoring what your body desires. Like if you're hungry and you ask your body, what would you like to eat? And your body kind of wants to have, I always use this example because I love cheeseburgers. So if your body wants to have a cheeseburger, then, but you think that you should have a salad, it's a choice to honor what your body desires. And neither choice is right or wrong. I mean, you're going to eat, right? You're hungry, so you're going to eat, whether you have the burger today or in the salad tomorrow. Like it's just a choice. And when are the places where you can honor your body? And for example, I had a session with a client today, and I was telling her, I was yawning throughout the session. I was like, I'm so sorry, just my body's really tired today. And she asked me, she's like, well, can you tell me about that? Like, how do you do what you have to get done, right? And then honor that your body is tired. And I was like, well, for me, it's just more like, okay, I get that I'm tired and I have these things that I have to take care of, but I allow myself to move slower if that is what's required. I allow myself to take little power naps in between if that is what my body requires. And so there's this like getting things done, but not from the space of like pushing or doing that adrenaline, like I have to get this done. It's just like, okay. And if things don't get done, then I'm okay with that. If honoring my body means that I have to sleep for a couple of days because my body is changing and we're tired and we're doing stuff, then I'll sleep for a couple of days, and then I don't berate myself for it, and I don't make myself wrong for it, and I don't judge myself wrong for it. I know that things are going to get done when they get done. Usually when I allow myself the space to rest, if that is what my body requires, after that rest, I can actually get things done a lot quicker than I did before. So that's a little bit about honoring your body. And I'm going to bring up, sorry, I'm going to skip around a little bit, because it's just that kind of day, because I'm tired. How do I say this? So in having the elements of intimacy, and I've talked about this a lot, like it's about really having the elements of intimacy with yourself. And what I discovered in my sort of exploration of this topic for today, and I was doing a little bit of research, is that if you don't have the elements of intimacy with you, obviously you can't have them for someone else, but when you're always looking, then you actually start to actively look for them, for someone else to fulfill that for you. So that's why I didn't cognitively know this before, even though I knew it, but I didn't have like, oh yeah, there it is. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Like if you don't have them with yourself and you're constantly looking towards someone else to fulfill them, well, we all know that people aren't always going to be able to give us everything that we require. They're not always going to be able to fulfill our needs. So then we're always disappointed. We're expecting them to do something that is just not possible. So again, bringing back those elements of intimacy towards you, like where are you honoring you? And where are you trusting you? And in the next few weeks, we'll go into the rest of the elements of intimacy. And when I was really looking at this part of it, this example came up. I dated a very popular boy in school at one point, and he was very popular. He was very good looking, and all the girls wanted to be with him. And we chose to date each other and to create, a relationship and be together. And now that's what we chose, that we had sort of like this is what we're going to create. And we were good with that. And it was honoring of what we desired in that moment. But there were these girls who were constantly like trying to get his attention and flirt with him and trying to get him to sleep with them. And how am I going to bring this back around? The thing is that it didn't, so they were honoring them, the girls, with what they desired and what they wanted. Were they particularly honoring me? No. Were they particularly honoring him? No. Were they honoring what we're creating? No. But they were honoring themselves. Now, the thing is, because I have been working on these, right, I had honor for me and for what I knew, what I was creating. So it didn't really matter what they were choosing. It didn't really have an effect on me or on my guy. We would kind of have a little chuckle about it, like, wow, this is kind of weird energy, But this is the part of like, when you have the elements of intimacy for yourself, it doesn't matter if someone else is able to have them with you or not, because you have them for you. And so when you honor you and you treat you with regard and you know the greatness of you, it really doesn't matter if anyone else is able to honor you the way that you desire to be honored, because you have that for you. And that is so, not everyone is going to be able to do that for you. So you got to start with you and have it with you. So that was kind of an interesting example that came up around this particular topic. And it was a question that I had for a little while of like, wow, what is this honor? And what is it, when someone doesn't have honor for you, and what does that create? And just looking at all of those different energies that can show up. I think we have a bit of a question maybe. Jean-Marc says, yes, I find myself being more productive when I allow myself to rest. Totally. Awesome. So I think that is about all I had in terms of honoring you and honoring your body. And would you be willing to ask, like, for you, what would it be to honor me? If I were truly honoring me in this situation, what would I choose? And if I were truly honoring my body, what would I choose? Treating yourself with regard, knowing the greatness of you, not expecting you to do anything that you wouldn't expect you to do. I had a funny little joke on last week's show that, like, okay, when I'm in a class, sometimes I'm going to forget to do stuff. And I trust that, I'm going to be changing so much that I'll forget things, and I can honor that about myself. And I'm not going to expect myself to remember every single detail when I'm in a class. I'll try to handle what I can before, and I'll handle what I can after. But when I'm taking a class or facilitating a class, like, I'm just going to honor and not expect myself to do everything perfectly. Well, no, you should never expect yourself to do anything perfectly in any moment, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up now to see if anyone has any questions, or if you would like any facilitation on this particular subject. I'm just promoting all the people that came on a little bit late to panelists. And here we go. Hi, everyone. Hi. Thank you so much for being here. Now I get to see everyone's faces. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions about what I talked about? Do you desire facilitation in any particular area? What can I be? What can I contribute for you? And if you don't, that's totally fine. I love seeing all these men on here. How does it get better? And I love the ladies too. Yay! Look at Peggy Sue. You looking good, girl. Hey.
Can you hear me, Patty?
Yes.
Hi. Yes,
let me see. See, I forgot to take the mic off again. Okay. Hi, Jean-Marc. What's up?
Hey, Patty. Yeah, I have a question, and it's around honoring myself and perceiving that others are not, receiving judgment around what others may see as dishonorable.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I totally forgot to mention that part. Honoring you is also choosing what works for you, no matter what anyone else says. That is truly, thank you so much for that question, because that's kind of like a good little piece. Choosing what works for you, no matter what anyone else thinks or says. It is your life. It is your life. And what you choose, what works for you, to honor you, is for you. It's your life. No one else is going to live it. I remember when I first, for example, and some of you may have heard this story, when I first sort of created pole dancing for consciousness, and I started taking pole dancing lessons and all that, I got a lot of pushback from my family. They were just like, what are you doing? I mean, shit, look, I've gotten pushback from my family my whole life. They didn't know what I was doing when I was in energy healing school. They didn't know what I was doing pole dancing. Like, I got nasty stuff from some people in my family about that. But there was something that I knew about what I was creating. And there was what I knew about what it was creating for my body and for myself. And those choices, which I made no matter what anyone else thought, actually launched me into a whole new life, which I love. That is everything that I had ever desired. So yeah, you got to choose what works for you first. Let's see. Melissa, I did not see your question, but you said you'll ask next. So where are you? There you are. Hi. Do you want to unmute yourself, or?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Hi. It's all in line with everything you're talking to. So those that don't know, I was in Florida and I moved to Massachusetts 5 months ago. I was living in a very toxic, chaotic environment. Mm-hmm. 3 days ago, I honored my body and I chose for me. And instead of taking my friend to visit her family, I actually went to Connecticut to get out of the chaos because it was violent and everything. And my body wasn't. So my question in terms of honoring my body, when you know that you've soaked up all this and you've done the returning and you know that her energy's in you, what questions can you ask? Because I've done so much clearing and I think I'm 98% got it out of me. Bottom line is today, I drove home, packed, and I moved. So within 1 hour, I was in and out. And for 2 days, I got judgment from her. And one day she said, no, don't come, stay. And I said, sorry, I'm choosing for me. And moving ahead in my life and honoring my body, I have a second job interview a week from next Tuesday. And instead of into her trauma and drama, I am honoring me and choosing for me. But I did soak in so much of her energy and the violence in the home, and I cleared and I did shield and bell jarred and.
Well, hold on, because you're giving a lot of tools that maybe a lot of people don't know.
Okay.
So listen. I got you. I'm going to give you some questions to contribute to that. So Melissa talked about returning sender. So she talked about return. She said, and I returned it, right? So that's return to sender. So that's when we become aware of an energy, and you ask the question, is this mine, or who does this belong to? And the energy shifts, so you know it's not yours. So you return it to sender with consciousness attached, so that whatever that energy can contribute to the person that it came from, it can do that. Now, Melissa, I'm wondering if you've asked your body to dissipate and release. So she's nodding no. Can you nod no? I don't know. So ask your body to just dissipate and release everything that being in that environment created with your body, and anything that you locked into your body. And when so our bodies, and if you've been on the show, then they are these sensorial organisms, and they can perceive energy and they can pick stuff up, and they're trying to constantly give us cues and give us information. And if we're not listening, then they try to tell us louder, and sometimes we can lock things into our body. So one of the tools that I love for bodies, and this can be used in so many different ways, like you can dissipate and release alcohol from your body. You can dissipate and release toxins from your body. You just have to ask your body, dissipate and release, dissipate and release, dissipate and release, dissipate and release. Expand your energy out, expand your body out, keep returning to sender. Now, just because you left physically, yay you for honoring you and for honoring your body, just because you left physically, that doesn't mean that energetically you're not there, or that she's not. I mean, look, we're talking about communion, right? Communion with everything. And so that includes everything. And just because you've moved physically doesn't mean that you're not going to be aware. So just be aware. Don't internalize any energies that come up. Stay in the question. What is this? Is this mine? Return to sender. Dissipate and release. Like, you're just going to have to keep using all of the tools that you already know. And how does it get better? I'm super excited for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I believe,
Melissa, we don't have that much time. I'm just going to move on to the next one. You can message me if you want, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, honey. So Sylvia says, what do you mean with expand your body out? I do know expand you as the being, but I'm not expanding the body out. So I mean that, expand your body out. Now, sometimes people get a little bit freaked out when I say expand your body out. They think like, oh my God, I'm gonna get really big and weigh 500 pounds. I don't want to expand my body out. But it's also like, it's a way also to become more aware of the space in your body, the space between the molecules. So I say expand your being way, way out, and then expand your body out as well, to create more space between your molecules. Just to, we just contract ourselves so much all the time, right? So just being that space of just expansion of, and if you allow your being to go way farther than anything you could have imagined, and then you allow your body to kind of meet you out there, what will that create? Cool. So thank you. Peggy Sue has a question. Go for it. And then Lacey has a question, and then we'll almost be done. Hi, Peggy Sue.
Hi there. I have a question about honoring my body as far as sex, not getting enough that I require in a relationship, and feeling, I guess, kind of rejected when it's not, I don't feel like I'm getting what I need.
So your body, okay. Well, I'm just going to ask you a question. So what would be honoring of you and what you desire? And what would be honoring of you and your body? If you didn't just what, and anything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive, that will you destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, online, schmutz, boys, meons. That's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. Go to theclearingstatement.com to get more information. What invitation can you and your body be to create more pleasure and ecstasy with total ease? And anything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Yeah. Right, wrong. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys, meons. How much fun are you willing to try and have seducing your lover?
Oh, I am. The wall comes up, and it's
So this is the thing about honor as well, is that a lot of us stay in relationships that aren't truly honoring of what we desire and what we would like. Yeah. So you got to look at, okay, is this relationship honoring of the sexual reality that I desire to have? What is that sexual reality? And if it's not, then what else is possible? And there's a godzillion possibilities available, right? So you just have to start asking questions around, is this person really the person for me?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Lacey, last one. Oh, he said, I don't have a question. I've just played with my hands and the energy came up. Awesome, but it looked like you were waving at me. How does it get better? Awesome. Cool. Any other last minute questions? Thank you all so much for being here. What energy, space, and consciousness can you and your bodies be to have total honor and allowance, trust, gratitude, and vulnerability with total ease? And anything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. I wonder which element of intimacy we'll talk about next week. I wonder, how does it get better? Remember, have them with you, for you, and then it won't matter if no one else can have them, and you will truly be able to get to that place of communion. These elements are somewhat required in order to create that. So thank you all so much for being here. I'm sorry, those of you guys that were kind of late, it's over. Well, let me see if any of these ladies that came in at the last minute have any questions. Hi, everyone. We do have 5 more minutes. Anyone else? Last minute questions. Oh, you weren't here, so.
I have a question.
Yes. Hi, Ramana.
Hi. So lately my life changed so much, and my energy is so different that I'm completely confused. What do I do now? Well, where do I start?
It's so funny. I've done this as well, so I get it. Our lives change so much, and then we're like,
great. It's great.
But
yeah.
Yes. So let me just put that out there for everyone else, Ramana. What if this was the best place to be at, where you have no clue what you're doing, no clue whatsoever, and what grand and glorious adventure can you have, right? And in these places, really, really being in the question of what's next and what else is possible and what would I like to create, what would a life and living that totally honors me look like? Universe, show me the possibilities. What would a life and living that totally honors me look like and be like for me? And anything that doesn't allow you to perceive, and receive that, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yeah.
right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nice, goes beyond.
Yeah.
Like being in that space of not knowing really isn't something that we're taught how to be in this reality. And it's certainly not something that we're taught how to be comfortable with in this reality.
Yeah.
It can be very uncomfortable to be like, I have no clue. And if you stay in the question and stay curious, and what you can create from this space of I have no clue could be greater than anything you've ever created before. So
yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, what grand and glorious adventure can you have? And what would a life and living of totally honoring you be like for you? Cool.
Yay. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Have fun. How much fun can you have on this adventure?
Yeah.
No matter what anyone else says. Oh, you should have this.
Of course.
They wag your finger and you know. Yeah. How much fun can you have exploring what else is next for you? Awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. I do have a class coming up, The Essence of You, Embodying Sexualness and Intimacy. It is all about the elements of intimacy. We're going to dive deep into these and do some home plays and some exercises on having more intimacy with you and with your body. I'd love to play with you guys. You can check it out on my website, pattyalfonso.sexy. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful. Have an amazing afternoon. I'm going to go take a nap because my body's still tired. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you guys next week. Mwah! How does it get better?
Bye.
Bye, everyone.